should have seen the amount of air bubbles that came out of the system. We burped the system. I didn't know it was a certain way that you had to do it. Whenever the thermostat opened up, the coolant level went down dramatically. I think that fixed our problem. We ain't gotta worry about this LS3 running hot now. All of our LS swap overheating issues have been fixed. Your LS swap costs you a lot of money. You might as well say your LS swap is an investment. You don't want it to run hot or overheat because it can cost you a lot more money to get it fixed. I recently did some work to my LS swap cooling system, and now I'm having some overheating problems. Today, YouTube, I want to share with you what issues I was having, what all it took for me to fix them, and what you can do to prevent you from having those LS swap overheating problems. But before we do that, I want to ask you a question. How would you like to know how to do an LS swap in an old school car that run like this? '72 Impala LS3 swap, looking at almost 600 horsepower. We ain't put it on a dyno yet, YouTube. We did our own wiring. We show y'all how to do that, YouTube, step by step. We did our own fuel system. We show y'all how to do that as well, step by step, YouTube. Everything you need to know. LS swap, baby, step by step. Let Chevy ZR1 help you do your LS swap, YouTube. We a family, man. We gonna do this thing together. Make sure you click that subscribe button. Make sure you turn on your notification bell. That way you see all the videos when we post them. And I need for you to drop me a comment in the comment section and say I'm riding with Chevy ZR1, Tone. Y'all ready? Let's get it. YouTube. This your boy, Tone coming back at y'all one more again, YouTube, with another great video on Chevy ZR1, man. Y'all already know what time it is, man. We outside, man. We ain't in the garage, but we outside today. What it do, man? This your boy. Y'all know what it is, man. We got the 72 Impala LS3 swap. Got it right behind me. Got it pulled out the garage. And as you all are aware, yeah, we've been having some overheating problems. It's been acting up on us. I just want to talk about my symptoms and what kind of, what I was experiencing before we dive into exactly how to fix the problem. One of the things is I haven't had this problem in the past. You know what I'm saying? When I first got the engine running, first got it on the road, I didn't have no issue. But sometime after that, one of my coolant hoses busted. And so we recently did some work. Let me show y'all what we did. Hey, man, I can't call it, man. Just chilling, bro. What's going on with you? Yeah, look, YouTube, man, check this out, man. These red hoses right here. We recently installed these silicone hoses, man. They're a lot more durable. They last a lot longer, and they can withstand more pressure than the regular rubber hoses that you use for your LS swap cooling system. And after we put these hoses on here, I started noticing it, like right now. Y'all see that right there, man? Y'all see that coolant right there kind of burping from this overflow tank right here? I got a little coolant right there, man. So that means it's leaking from under the cap. And I thought it was not sealed properly. So I put a no seal on it, and I found out that it's designed to do that. This is a non-pressurized overflow tank. This is not an expansion tank. It's only a coolant overflow tank that is supposed to be non-pressurized, y'all. All right, that's my particular setup. But this is one of the things that was happening. I started smelling coolant. I started seeing coolant leak out of here, and I could tell that coolant been on this because there's little white spots on it. And then also, almost every time I had to drive the car, I checked the coolant level. Like I'm finna check it now. And as y'all can see, man, that sucker is low. It's low. It's low as I don't know what. And that means the coolant is not being sucked back in here like it's supposed to. It's just not working. It ain't working right, y'all. So, that's one of the issues. The coolant ain't being sucked down in here like it is supposed to. So I'm constantly have to add coolant in here. That's one of the symptoms. You know what I'm saying? I mean, the engine, it runs absolutely great. You know, it don't overheat, but it kind of semi-overheats a little bit. You know what I'm saying? I could be driving around for maybe an hour or two, and then after some of the coolant has overflowed to the overflow tank, the coolant level gets low, and the coolant is not sucked back in there, and I'm constantly have to put coolant in. So pretty much almost every other time that I drive the car, I have to add the coolant. But back to what I was saying, when I'm driving the car, it won't run hot, but it'll start running kind of warm, and it'll slowly start it creeping up, you know what I'm saying? Depending on how long I drive the car. And, you know, I usually let it get up to about maybe 215, 220. Then I park it, let it cool off, look at the coolant level, and the coolant level is back down low because it then overflowed out of the overflow tank. It won't run hot because I won't let it run hot, but it'll run a lot warmer than what it really is supposed to be, man. And so that leads me to do some more research online, reading some forums. I also connected with the Chevys R Us community on Go Live Wednesday, man. We had a conversation and we chopped it up and we talked about it. And I got input, man, from the Chevys R Us family. Yeah, I got input from the Chevys R Us family. Shout out to my man Swaps and stuff, man. Hey, appreciate that knowledge and that information, bro. But, yeah, man, so I was undecided to whether I was going to switch from an overflow tank to an expansion tank. The expansion tank will allow the coolant to recirculate back inside of the radiator. It won't wait until the engine cools off before it pulls a vacuum and sucks that coolant back in the radiator. So I was on the edge about that. I was like, you know what? Maybe I need to change my design and incorporate an expansion tank versus using the overflow tank for my LS swap cooling system. And that expansion tank would allow the coolant to almost immediately recirculate back in the cooling system. But everybody I talked to say, you know what? I've been running an overflow tank for the longest. I ain't never had no problem. And since I started having this problem directly after I put the new hose on, that leads me to believe that I got air inside of my system that needs to be burped out. I never bled the system down like you supposed to. You know, if you think about it, an old school 350 Chevy engine is a lot less complicated than these newer LS style engines. And if you're dealing with an old school 350 engine, only thing you gotta do, pop the radiator cap off, put coolant in there, let it run, and add more coolant. Boom, you through. But these LS style engines that are equipped with the LS steam ports on the heads that allows air out of the system, the design of the LS engine is a lot more different. The cooling system, everything is different about it. And so it's a little bit more finicky when you're dealing with these LS engines and their cooling systems and trapped air in the system and all of that. So today, what we're going to do is we're going to walk through this together, and we're going to permanently resolve and fix our issue to where, you know, our LS swap want to try to run hot. You know what I'm talking about? The first thing that we're going to do is I'm going to jack the front of this car up, man. All right? And I'll be right back with y'all in a minute. Get it as high in the air as I possibly can. And just to elaborate on that a little bit, why I have the front end of the car jacked up is because you got to think about it. Where does air go? Air rises to the top, right? And if your radiator is the highest point in your cooling system, then you have the front end raised up off the ground, and the air should rise to the top. And so all the air bubbles should come up to that radiator, man, and burp out of that system. It will aid and assist you getting all the air out of your LS swap cooling system or your LS engine cooling system. It's gonna help. All right, YouTube. I got his front end jacked up. You know, y'all see, man. Oh man, I almost fell. But I got both tires off the ground. Got it on jack stands. So the car is actually leaning back. And the front end of the car is actually higher than the back end. So it's at a slant like that right there. Like it's squatting. You know what I'm saying? That's the first thing you want to do. The next thing you want to do is you want to make sure that you got coolant ready to mix coolant, or however you prefer to do it. I got it at hand. I got the radiator cap off. That's what you want to do. And the next thing you want to do is you want to crank it up. You want to crank it up and let it run. All right, YouTube, I'm gonna top this coolant off here. All right, YouTube, so now what I'm gonna do, now that I filled it up, topped it off, I'm just gonna squeeze on that top radiator hose. Show y'all, YouTube. Y'all see them bubbles in there? That's the air coming out, YouTube. Look here, we got y'all. There go Ken with the beautiful Corvette. Y'all know what time it is, man. Tell the family what's up.
What's going on, peoples?
Hey, y'all heard him, man. Just out here, man, troubleshooting a little issue. You know what I'm saying? As y'all can see, man, after you let the engine run and squeeze on this hose, we let it heat up all the way into operating temperature with the cap off. And we let it get to like 190 degrees. And while we were constantly squeezing on this hose, man, you should have seen the amount of air bubbles that came out of the system. And then whenever the thermostat opened up, this sucker went down, the coolant level went down dramatically. And so I think that fixed our problem. We burped the system. It took a lot more coolant. And we watched all the little air bubbles bubble out of here while we were squeezing on this right here, while the engine was running. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna top it off. And we're gonna put the cap back on. We're gonna go for a test drive, YouTube. All right, be back in a minute. All right, YouTube. I got the car back home after a test drive. I drove it around for about an hour, an hour and a half, something like that. But the temperature slowly started to rise just a bit. So I brought it back home and I let it cool off. And just to show, you know, let me show you. My reservoir actually had fluid in it from where this boiled over into my overflow, but it didn't suck it back down like it was supposed to. So here I am. I'm still burping the system. It's not running, but let me see if I can let y'all see. Here, I'm just gonna squeeze on this hose. See them bubbles coming out of it? I mean, it still got air in it, y'all. And I've been doing this for about 5 or 10 minutes. And each time I do it, the coolant level will go down further and further. So right now, I'm just gonna continue to squeeze on that hose and add more coolant in it. You know what I'm saying? When I start squeezing on it and I don't get no more bubbles, then I'm gonna cap it off, go for another test drive, and we're gonna see what it do. So we'll be back with y'all in a minute, YouTube. All right, YouTube, man. We got the car back in the garage. We went for a test drive. And the car actually did pretty good. You know what I'm saying? I honestly believe that it still has a bit more air in the system. And I think that I need to repeat this process again. You know what I'm saying? And that takes me back to an incident that I had with my Tahoe. I got an LS engine in the Tahoe, the 2007 Tahoe. And what happened was, for a while, it kept running hot. I didn't drive it while it was hot, but the temperature kept creeping up. And I had recently replaced the cooling the radiator hoses on the Tahoe. And after I filled it back up, it did that, man, for probably 2 months. You know, on and off. It tried to run hot on me until I got the system all burped out and got all the air out of the system. And then it just magically stopped. You know what I'm saying? So I know that this is what's going on. You know, I don't want you to think the worst, you know what I'm saying? Because it could be an internal component that's causing your engine to run hot. We ain't gonna think like that. You know what I'm saying? We're not even going to look at that. You know, I'm just glad that this has happened, because now I have the opportunity to bless you all with some knowledge and bless you all with some information that's going to help you and your LS swap. It's going to help prevent your LS swap or your LS engine from overheating and running hot. You know what I'm saying? Because these LS swaps, man, they are an investment. And, you know, you put a lot of money, a lot of time, and a lot of effort into your bill. And so I know you don't want to tear it up. And this information, this process that I showed you today will keep your car, will keep your engine from overheating. And that's what you want. I'm going to continue to monitor my LS swap, continue to drive it, and I'm going to keep y'all updated. Man, if this is your first time on the channel, hey, make sure that you click that subscribe button. Make sure that you turn on your notification bell. That way you see all the videos when we post them. And look, drop me a comment in the comment section and let me know y'all ride with Chevy ZR1 now. And also, if you got questions and you want some answers, hey, join the Chevy ZR1 family for Go Live Wednesdays, man. We go live every single Wednesday at 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time, where we collaborate as a family, man, and we share LS swap knowledge, and we just talk about old school cars. And even if you want to do a show and tell, if you got an LS swap or if you got an old school car and you want to bless the Chevy ZR1 family with it, hey, man, y'all join us, man. 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Go Live Wednesdays. YouTube.